Get excited, make plans, work hard for a few days, start sleeping, blame yourself, mentally collapse, wait for a while, and then repeat. Your problem isn't laziness or lack of discipline. It's a brain pattern you reinforce so many times that failure feels more familiar than success. So a single biggest problem that I struggled with when it comes to making progress or changing my life, so to say, was this thing that I call a crisis stage loop. And the period where I experienced the full power of it was about a year ago when I decided to first build my marketing agency completely from scratch with no experience whatsoever. I got super excited, learned how to set up a website, learned the basics of marketing, how to send cold emails, cold call, and all the rest of it. I started reaching out to a whole bunch of prospects. I even booked one sales call in just 2 months, which is not that good of a result, but at least that call showed up and we nearly ended up working. But long story short, in like 3 or 4 months of pretty intense work, I would say, I didn't manage to get anything. I got burnt out. I just completely gave up on everything. And then this crisis stage loop started to repeat itself over and over and over again in my shorter periods. Like for 1 month, I would work on YouTube, then get back to SMMA, then try trading crypto or whatever the fuck. And after all of it, I promised to myself again that I'm going to focus only on YouTube for a couple of years, no sleeping off, doing everything that I said I was going to do. I got super excited, set out a plan to post 2 videos per week while also going to school, gym, parties, etc. Got burnt out in 2 weeks, lost a bunch of money, and felt like a complete mess. All of my strategy consisted of pure discipline, massive planning, and elaborate to-do lists that looked impressive but never translated into real progress. My biggest problem was that I was literally standing in my own way of making progress and changes that last, because long before I even started to do anything, I was deeply convinced by my own mind that it wouldn't work because I'm not the type of person who makes that kind of change possible. I developed that kind of reputation with myself that I was that kind of person who will fail no matter how hard or how long they try. And in this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I've learned so that you can also escape that cycle, and I'm just here to tell you that it's completely possible. So make sure to watch this video until the end, like, subscribe, and let's begin. The problem is not your laziness or stupidity, it's your brain patterns. You just need to dig deeper. Part 1. Break the patterns. One of the reasons why you feel stuck spinning your wheels trying to make progress but not seeing any of it is because you're doing the same shit. If you actually think about it, you're doing the exact same stuff that you used to do before, but it's not gonna work because you're trying to swap tools while using the same kind of operating system. I hope you get what I mean. If you keep changing what you do without changing how you think, you're just decorating the cage. You need a different approach to everything. You need to rip the habits apart, burn the blueprint or whatever it is that you found, study everything separately, then put it all together in your own unique and different way, which is not like everyone else's. And you have to do it in a way so that it represents the person that you're becoming, not the person that you've been before. Hopefully that makes sense. And the best way to start doing that you can literally do like right now as you're listening to this video or after you've done watching this is change your environment. Move your desk to the other side of the room, read a new book, change your haircut, post a YouTube video about what you're going to do, go on a walk to a place you've never been before and try to work from there. Do something which is out of your usual way. It's like you see a lot of people these days talking about changing everything gradually, going like 1% at a time. But here's the thing, most people struggle to stay consistent. And I believe that like literally a single best way to change everything about your life is to change everything about your life all at once. Not add all at once, like not trying to take every supplement that you can in order to grow bigger muscles or start all of the business models all at once. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying change everything all at once, not add everything all at once. And what I mean by this is exactly like moving a furniture in a room. Like the best case scenario is that you can move to another, I'm not gonna say country or a city, but maybe at least another apartment, maybe to a different room in your apartment. Because if you watch any of my previous videos, I'm actually moving around my house like many times. You could probably see at first I was living with my mom, I was recording there from one angle, then from another angle. Then I moved to a new place, I started recording from one room, then from different angle in that room, then from a third angle in that room. Now I'm in a completely different room. So I'm constantly like switching things up because when I feel like I'm getting stuck into old ways of thinking and doing stuff, I'm changing stuff around and I'm kind of moving my table around or trying to explore something that I didn't explore before. So like basically seek novelty, but in a healthy sense. I become able to write a lot more and record more videos. So basically I become more more workable, I guess. So you get the point that I'm trying to make. When you change your environment, you force your brain to start adapting to that new environment, which teaches it to come up with new kind of different and more creative solutions, which is also going to help you in anything that you're doing, from fitness to business to studying to whatever it is that you can imagine in any area that you struggle to make progress in. And so the main point is that intentional environment design is everything. If you're not going to control your environment, it's going to control you. Part 2. Stop chasing the high. When you get into the cycle of motivate, crash, repeat, you're getting a blast of dopamine into your brain for getting quick results. When you first get into the gym, you'll see the biggest results like by far in the first year of your training. And then with each year that you're going to train, the progress is going to slow down gradually. It's going to be harder and harder for you to put on muscle unless you're using steroids. And in a couple of years of training, like that's where a lot of people give up or sort of go into the dark side of it and start blasting a whole bunch of steroids to get bigger. And the thing is that the same exact pattern shows up everywhere. You launch a business, excitement, zero results, emotional crash, repeat. You start posting online, first few likes, people ghosting, delete the post, repeat. You start a relationship, butterflies, friction, confusion, breakup, repeat. Same cycle, different domains. You see, everything in your life is a project. Going to the gym is a project. Starting a business is also a project. Your relationship, also a project. It's just in a different domain and you have different goals and views associated to each project, but it's still a project. But here's what you need to understand. The brain doesn't reward you based on what's meaningful. It always rewards you based on what's novel, fast, and emotionally charged. And that's why you have this little like this kick of dopamine when you cross something off of a to-do list. Whilst working on something for like 6.5 hours on something really meaningful, which is going to take you to where you want to get to, but it's like just this hard grind. It feels so miserable, pointless, meaningless, and all the rest of the negative things if you don't see this immediate result or a payoff. And the thing that most people just don't want to realize is that it's not the task problem, it's the reward system problem. And the thing that I've done to escape this massive loop is that I taught myself to, like, I changed how my brain sees it. I changed what it's rewarding me for. Like, obviously you can't do it perfectly, but you can still teach your brain to operate a little bit differently, generally when you're trying to accomplish something which is meaningful, which takes a lot of hours of work. If you have a newsletter that you want to grow, change the rewards from getting new subscribers or making sales to putting one valuable piece of content every week. And by the way, make sure to go and check out my newsletter. You're going to get a lot of value from that one. I send that out every single week on Tuesday. You can also check out my products page, which is linked in the description. You can get a whole bunch of free guides there, and also going to subscribe to my newsletter by getting that. And so that was just a side note. Let's continue. If you're starting a business, change the reward from getting clients to accomplishing something in a day or exploring your creativity. You get the point. So the main point is stop chasing the high, because if you don't, it's going to destroy you, and you already know it perhaps even better than me. And so to wrap it all up, you can think about the solution of chasing the high somewhat like this. You don't kill the dopamine cycle by removing rewards. You kill it by redefining what's worth rewarding. Part 3. You're not a cow. Work like a lion. I learned this one from Dan Cole's video where he showed a clip of Naval talking about this exact thing. So let me play it to you so I don't fumble anything or say something wrong.
What you do, who you do it with, how you do it, way more important than how hard you work, right? Outputs are non-linear based on the quality of the work that you put in. The right way to work is like a lion. You and I are not like cows. We're not meant to graze all day, right? We're meant to hunt like lions. We're closer to carnivores in our omnivorous development than we are to herbivores. As a modern knowledge worker athlete, as an intellectual athlete, you want to function like an athlete, which means you train hard, then you sprint, then you rest, then you reassess, you get your feedback loop, then you train some more, then you sprint again, then you rest, then you reassess. This idea that you're going to have linear output just by cranking every day at the same amount of time, that's machines. You know, machines should be working 9 to 5. Humans are not meant to work 9 to 5.
And the thing that I figure out for myself, I don't know, maybe I'm going to change my opinion in some time, but it seems to me like hard work isn't enough. And that's probably something that Naval is trying to suggest as well. All right, so now that we've discussed intensity and how to get out of our own way to see the change, now it's time to wrap it all up with a system that's actually going to work. We will need a system that will provide us with effortless execution, sustainability, and enjoyment. And to have that system functioning properly, you will need 5 things. And first is a clear goal. Not a vague idea like I want to get more productive or I want to lose weight, but a real, specific, undeniable goal. Something that you can break down, reverse engineer, and aim at like a sniper. Think like I want to post 1 high-quality YouTube videos every single week for 3 months in a row. Or I want to hit the gym for at least 3 times every single week for the next 5 months. Without clear target, you're not working, you're just moving. Second thing is knowing the big mover, and this is a cool one and a very important one to understand. Every system needs something that moves the needle the most. For example, for YouTubers, it can be writing, scripting, or recording. For online freelancers or SMMA guys, outreach outreach, follow-ups, or building social proof. For someone doing internal work, it could be journaling, meditating, or deep reading. Identify that thing and do it most of the time. That probably should be your priority 90% of the time, and everything that you do should flow around it and align with it. Now, thing number 3 is leverage or tools. In this day and age, you don't need to do everything manually or from scratch. Different apps on your phone can track progress, automate tasks, and simplify your life. You see, your phone has become this kind of a tool, but at the same time a trap. So I have this one app which is called Opal. I downloaded it again. I didn't have it on my phone for a couple of months, but then I noticed that I started to procrastinate again and use my time not efficiently, not doing the thing that I should be doing. And so I installed it again, and it basically blocks everything off for a certain time. And it's like kind of, you click on the app, it's great, you can't access it, and to access it you have to go into the app and you have to wait for a couple of seconds and then unlock it. So by that time you realize that you don't actually need it, and then you move on. So that's really useful. Use your phone and all of the other pieces of technology only to improve and to enhance anything that you're doing, because it can ultimately become your trap and something that will ruin you. Now, thing number 4 is feedback loops. This is where most people fall short. You don't grow by doing things at once. You grow by seeing what worked, what didn't, and adjusting. And thing number 5, which is the last thing, is a routine. And not just any routine, but one that fits your energy, your season, and your life. You can try waking up early, going to cold shower, meditating, and all the rest of the routine. Like, I talked about my routine many times on this channel, so you can go and check out any of the previous videos. I probably mentioned my routine there. I wake up early in the morning, go to cold shower, and then sit down to work. That's what's working for me. But the key here is to find exactly what's working for you, because you might be the person for whom it's easier to work in the morning, like for me, or you can be the person for whom it's the easiest to work in the middle of the day or at the end of the day, and you need to apply different kinds of routines. So you can like experiment and do anything, or ask someone to do that routine for you customly, which is also one of the things that I offer in my coaching. So if that's something that you're interested in, link is in the description for that. But anyways, it's really important, because everyone can share with you a routine, but if you don't find it enjoyable, workable for you, there are a whole bunch of routines that I've tried that didn't work for me, and the only routine that I could find that worked for me took me like a year and a half to adjust, because I started taking cold showers like a year ago. I thought that it was working for me, then not, then once again yes, then I started waking up earlier, later, and so on and so forth, taking a whole bunch of different supplements, trying to build that system, this system, nothing worked, but then this worked. And so I'm kind of constantly adjusting, but now I have more understanding about what works for me, and at this point I've helped quite a few people to build their systems as well. So yeah, that's basically something to just do, adjust, or ask someone who has an experience to help you out with that. 99% of the problems are in the way we see things, and the solution to it is to simply dig under the surface, which unfortunately most people are not willing to do. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this video until the end. If you found it valuable, then don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my free email newsletter. Also, you can find a whole bunch of relevant links and useful stuff in the description. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about this video, and take care. Bye.